All right. As Melanie said, I am Mollie Payne. Um, I have a farm, Foothill Farm Flowers, and today I'm here to talk about how the UCFFA can actively support your farm in very practical ways. First, just a little bit about me. So I've been flower farming in Utah for 7 years. I joined the UCFFA as a first year flower farmer and began volunteering with the organization during my second season. I just recently took over as the president, and I'll just be sharing today about what the Utah Cut Flower Farm Association offers, how growers across the state are using it as a tool to strengthen their farms, and why we would love to have you as a part of it. So, as we all know, farming is technically demanding, it's physically exhausting, and it's often very isolating, especially when you're working in a niche crop or a newer market. So many of us are making decisions without, clear benchmarks on pricing, scale, labor, or which markets are worth our time. Education helps with this, and I would argue community also helps with your confidence and resilience. It's that combination that keeps farms going long term. So, what is UCFFA? I just want to give you a little bit of background on that. So we're the Utah Cut Flower Farm Association, and we were founded in 2019 by 7 local flower farmers. And Dr. Melanie Stock has been on our board of directors from the beginning. Our mission is to promote local and sustainable floriculture by supporting local flower farms through education, outreach, and research programs. We also focus on educating flower lovers of the economic and environmental impact of local flowers, as well as the diversity of flowers available through Utah Flower Farms. So that's our mission statement. So the Utah Cut Flower Farm Association, or UCFFA, is a statewide nonprofit, and it was founded by growers for growers. It exists specifically to support local cut flower farms in Utah through education, advocacy, research, and connection. So we have a membership level for everyone, whether you're just thinking about flower farming. We do have several people that are even home gardeners that are just really into growing flowers. Or if you've already been in the industry for several years, it's a great support structure designed to strengthen farms at every stage. In this photo here, you can see some of our founding members, Britton Van Brocklin, Lindsay Waddups, Fawn Ruckert, uh, Heather Griffiths, and Melanie's in there also. They were all founding members of our organization. And then just to the right of Melanie is Kelly Webb. She's our new vice president. And then Loretta Clayson is standing up behind her, and she was one of our former vice presidents. So, who is the UCFFA for? I kind of touched on this a little bit, but I just wanted to reiterate one of the biggest misconceptions is that associations are only for large or established farms. The UCFFA is intentionally structured to support people who are just starting or are experimenting with flowers as a diversification crop and farms that are already selling at scale. You don't need to have it all figured out to belong. We accept everyone, and we love that we have flower farmers from a wide range of backgrounds and experience levels. We also welcome florists to join and support our local flower movement, and we give all of our florist members a profile page on our website so that customers looking to support local growers can find florists to work with as well. So one of our core benefits is education, and I'm going to dive a little deeper into how we support education in our association. So education is one of our core pillars. It's focused on what growers actually need, how to choose profitable crops, how to price flowers sustainably, how to manage post-harvest handling, and how to understand different market channels. We also cover topics such as work-life balance, avoiding burnout, ways to prevent injury, business skills such as accounting and marketing, and really so much more. Much of this education is delivered by growers in our state, also researchers in our state, such as Melanie and other professors and researchers at USU. And so this makes all of that immediately applicable. We also look to bring in industry experts on other topics that we're covering so that we can learn from the best. Those can be um, from across the country or even the world, because we do have quite a few online events. This year, we're bringing in Ben Hartman to talk about lean farming, specifically for flower farmers. And we have a Blooming Zoom tomorrow, which is going to be, it's called Blooming at noon now because it does happen at noon. It will be a local occupational therapist speaking on injury prevention. So, as I alluded to, our education happens in multiple formats. We host an annual conference. Kinda mentioned she attended that just a few weeks ago here in Utah, um, the Utah Flower Conference. We also participate in USU Field Days, and we host our own farm tours as well. Any month where we don't have an in-person meeting, we do host those Zoom meetings, which are called now Blooming at Noon. And we bring in experts, both local and from across the country, potentially across the world. And when our members join those Zooms live, there's an opportunity to interact directly with these experts, which is a really great way for our members to learn. We also record all of those sessions and make those available online um, after the meetings. So if you're a member of our association, you can log in and just immediately have access to. We have close to 30 videos so far. We did end up losing a few. We early in our association, right when COVID hit, we started doing Facebook Lives. And just recently, Facebook decided not to keep those backed up. So we did lose a few from the very beginning, but after tomorrow, we'll have 30 videos that are all available on our website. So the Utah Flower Conference, I just wanted to cover that a little bit more. It's an all-day event, and we have speakers and panelists speaking on various relevant topics. We often get feedback from our members on what they really want to hear about and who they want to hear from, and we take that into consideration as we're planning for these. We also invite people or companies, different individuals to sponsor that conference. And then they have a booth there, and our members have access to them to interact with them directly, which we love doing as well. Um, we have sold out every year, and it's definitely a highlight for everyone that attends. There's been such a demand for tickets that we're looking to host in a bigger venue next year so we can make sure that everyone who wants to attend is able to attend. And our members receive a discount on this conference. The discount is actually equal to their membership dues for the year. So that's one way that this is an immediate return on investment. Your dues actually are paid back to you in your discount for the Utah Flower Conference. Here you can see past speakers we have had. There's Melanie and um, panels, and then some of our members interacting with sponsors in the sponsor area. Another favorite way that we come together is farm tours. I think this is my very favorite thing. I don't know, it's hard to pick a favorite because I do love the conference so much. Um, we do one farm tour in the spring and one in the fall, and the host farm presents educational material based on things that they've learned on their specific farm. Each member gets 1 to 2 tickets, depending on their membership level, to each of these farm tours. This is a huge value if you ever have looked into attending the ASCFG farm tours. They're usually in the hundreds of dollars to attend. So we do offer these as a perk to our members, and they're just a favorite way for us to come together and really interact, see what people are doing, like up close, and ask them questions, and just amazing conversations come up at these events. I feel like I always learn so much when I'm able to interact person to person with other farmers doing similar things to me. So as I mentioned, when we can't come together in person, we meet online. We host both local speakers and experts from around the country, and we cover all kinds of topics, ranging from marketing to the latest flower research and different avenues for profiting from your flowers. These recordings are available for viewing by our members on our website, so you can see just a few of our speakers in the past. We had Jen and Adam from Pepper Harrow Farm speak to us on photography for your marketing. We had James and Brian from Petal and Pines come talk to us about agritourism. They do a lot of agritourism on their farm. We had Jenny Love come speak to us on regenerative flower farming practices. And we had Mollie Payne. She's a social media marketer who had some specialization in farms. She's out in Maryland. She came and spoke to us specifically on how to harness social media to market our farms. You can also see here just a screenshot of that video library that we do have on our website. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to pull up our website and kind of show you some of the different ways that or things that you can access once you're a member of our organization. We also provide education and outreach to the public. This includes a monthly newsletter that's written directly to the public. We have a member newsletter, which is to all of our members, but then we have an outreach newsletter to anyone who's signed up on our website to get an email from us. And that just covers like what's going on in our farmers' lives right now and different ways that they can access local flowers in their own area. We always point them back to the Utah Flower Map, which I will talk about a little bit when I show the website at the end. The other way we reach out to the public is our annual Utah Flower Day. So I want to dig into that a little bit more. So our Utah Flower Day initiative started in 2022. It began as an in-person gathering. We gave all of our farmers the opportunity to host a booth, and we also invited the public there. We had activities for children, informational booths from partners at USU and local flower societies, as well as farmers showcasing their offerings. Different collectives have come to those as well. We had a floral design contest, which a stipulation of entering that contest is you could only use local flowers. We've held these in August so that it's kind of the peak of our most bountiful season here in Utah. And then we have also brought in local florists and had farmers donate flowers to create large arches that were built with only local flowers. These displays really just show off what's possible with locally grown flowers. And we continued with these in-person Utah Flower Day events in 2023 and 2024. Starting in 2025, we made it a statewide initiative. So just this last year, we really felt the only thing that was missing from these in-person events and the only regret we ever had was we wanted this information to be accessible throughout our entire state. And we, at the time, we were just holding specific Utah Flower Days in one city. So starting in 2025, we made this a statewide initiative so we could reach that larger audience. We submitted a declaration to the governor's office to make it an official Utah Flower Day. And then we also offered mini grants to our farmers, our members, that would enable them to have a little extra funding to host their own events in their own communities. They could join together with other flower farmers in their area or just host one on their own. I know I participated in one at Snook Farm in Pleasant Grove. That was a big success. But this was just to expand Utah Flower Day to a much bigger audience and a much larger area all on that one day. Our in-person events were really great moments for community building. We had, like I said, local florists donate time to build their large displays. You can see this photo on the left was our very first Utah Flower Day. and they created this great Utah shaped arch. We just had great community involvement. There's a couple of pictures here from our day at Ogden and our day in South Jordan. It was just a really great feeling of community, and just also educating the public about what's possible with local flowers. Like I said, the only thing that was lacking was being able to include the entire state in these events. And with it being such like a busy time for our farmers, it was hard for people to really travel. I know the Utah Flower Conference, it's a little easier because we're doing it in an off season, but this is happening on a Saturday during the peak time. So if you're selling at a farmer's market, it was a little harder to participate in these. So that's when we launched last year in 2025. We launched our first statewide initiative. We hired a local artist to come up with some great graphics and sticker art and a coloring page. And we made these materials available to all our growers. They just had to sign up online and they would get a poster and stickers shipped to them. The coloring page was just downloadable from our website, so they could print those off and make those available at their events, potentially their farmers market booths or other event that they were hosting, perhaps a U-Pick on their farm, just letting everyone know, hey, today is Utah Flower Day. Here's a sticker, here's some information, and here's a coloring page you can take home. And we were also able to use these materials recently for a couple different Day on the Hill events, and we were able to talk to our local legislators about the growing number of Utah flower farms, which is really important. There's actually a bill being discussed right now. I was following it before I got on here, and it was the next agenda item. They hadn't quite gotten to it yet. Just creating a law that basically means if you can grow flowers on your property, then your city has to approve your business license to sell those. So I think it's really important that we have some of these wonderful materials that we can share with our legislator just to bring awareness to this growing industry we have here in Utah. Um, let's see. Yeah, I kind of covered this in what I was just saying. Yeah, participating on the Day on the Hill. And we I sent a letter to all the committee members about this bill that's being discussed in a committee today. We were also able to share links for all of our members to do that through our social media. And I guess I should cover a little bit. We do use our social media quite a bit to educate the public. And one of the ways that we do that is highlighting our farmers on social media, just to bring awareness for the public, all the different places that those farmers are located and things that they're doing. The next topic I wanted to cover is research. We have grower-led, practical, and applied research in our organization. I'll cover a little bit how that works. So each year, the UCFFA funds research projects that are proposed and conducted by our own members. These are practical questions that come directly from the field, things like variety performance, season extension methods, or production efficiencies that matter to our working farms in Utah. Melanie Stock leads this part of our organization, and she brings together a grant committee each year to award grants. The process is intentionally accessible. I think Melanie said this year we were able to fund 80% of the grants that were applied to. That's a great number. So members propose research questions based on real challenges that they're facing, and we provide that funding support. Growers collect data within their own production systems, and these results are then shared back with our members through presentations and reports, so that all of that data is accessible to all of our membership, not just that individual farm. For the 2026 growing season, so this upcoming season that we're just getting into, we were able to fund 4 grower grants for our members, which was the most we've ever done. We're really happy about that. And all of our members will be able to attend an online meeting later in the year where all of those findings will be shared and then accessible on our website for the future. I really feel like community is the hidden value of the UCFFA, and the part of the organization that I just really immediately found value with on my farm. It's a little harder to quantify, but really being able to talk honestly with other growers about failures, pricing fears, labor struggles, weather disasters can really change how isolating farming can feel. It also speeds up our learning. Someone else has already made the mistake you're about to make, and they're usually willing to tell you about it. Uh, the collectives across our state were born out of relationships that formed from being part of this organization. I know that when I joined the Utah Cut Flower Farm Association, when I was just considering becoming a flower farmer, the farmers I met at that very first in-person meeting back in early 2020, right before the shutdown, they are still my good friends to this day. And those relationships and connections have been a huge factor in the success on my own flower farm. This community is built through our online and in-person meetings, as well as our online forum that we have available on our website. Here, members can come ask questions and interact with each other in a safe and welcoming environment. Here's just an image of one of our flower farm tours. Lindsay's just here speaking to a group of members during her farm tour. It's really these informal discussions that often spark ideas and create connections among our members. It's one of my very favorite things. So I just want to tell you about the membership levels that we have available. As I said, everyone is welcome. So our entry level membership is an associate or florist. It's $45 a year. With that membership, you get a pin on our Utah Flower map, which I hope I'll have time to show it on our website really quickly. One free ticket to each farm tour, a 30% discount at the Utah Flower Conference ticket, which is a $45 value, opportunities to apply for those grower grants, access to 30 hours of educational video and growing. So every time we have one of those blooming at noons, that gets added and our library grows. Full access to members only website features like that forum I discussed, access to those live. We used to call them Blooming Zooms, they're now called Blooming at Noon. Promotion through the social media feeds, and our florist members, like I said, get a listing on the website so that people looking for a florist who uses local flowers can find that, and they get a pin on the map as well that's specified as a florist. We also have an application level membership, which can either be a certified grower or a farmer florist if you are a flower farm who also does floristry. So with this membership comes the addition of a profile page on our website, the use of a certified grower logo that you can post on your website, a special certified grower pin on our Utah Flower map, or farmer florist pin. You get two tickets to our farm tours. So if you want to bring someone with you, you're able to do that. Bring a spouse or a friend or a farming partner with you to those flower farms. You get, farm tours. You get 50% off a ticket to the Utah Flower Conference. That is equal to your membership dues of $75. Access and everything else that you get as a normal member too. So all those other things I just mentioned. So we're currently at 200 members. We've grown quite a bit over the years, and 60 of those members are certified growers. As I said, right now we have 29 videos on our website. We're almost up to 40, but we did lose a few with that Facebook Live deletion, but we'll be growing that number throughout the year. I just wanted to cover some numbers. Return on investment, I've kind of covered this a little bit. But basically, your discount to the Utah Flower Conference equals your membership dues. Tickets to the farm tours are really valued at around $200 each if you look at what the ASCFG charges for these farm tours. Access to the Blooming at Noon live and recorded sessions are valued at several $100s. If you look at any of the online conferences that go on, they start in the $100 range. And we have, I would argue, more videos than most of those conferences would have. Grower grants are worth several $100s. When you apply for them, you can get that money to perform research on your farm. And really, I feel like the best benefit is community, and that's really priceless. What do growers actually gain? A faster learning curve, lower costly mistakes, Utah-specific data to guide their decisions rather than just national averages. I think that this is especially valued to our small farms where budgets are really tight. Again, I just can't emphasize enough the community and feelings of support that is really the core of our association. So just to sum it all up, when you put it all together, the UCFFA supports farms through four connected pillars: education, community, research, and advocacy. Each one reinforces the other, and together they create a system that no individual farm has to build alone. So how can you get involved? Well, we would love for you to join us. I have a QR code here that you can scan if you want to join our association. We would love for you to become a member. The more the merrier, the more the merrier. I would like to pull up our website really quick. Do you have any questions, Melanie?
There is one question while you pull up the website, and I think it's a great one because we've had talks about this through the association, and it's, do many of your member farmers find success with cut self-service model? So I think that's a you pick question.
Yeah. We do have several farmers that have U-Picks, and I know that that's a great way, a great thing to bring up and chat with other members about at all of these events. And if that's something that you as a member would like us to cover at a Blooming at Noon, then there's always the opportunity to submit things that you want to learn more about. So just really quick, if there are any more questions, this is our website. So you can see these are all of our Blooming at Noon that are coming up for the year. You can see these are all the past events that we've held. So just like there's so many. And then let's see, we have a forum where you can post questions and just interact with other members. Let's see, there's our video library where you have immediate access to all those different topics that we've covered in those blooming Zooms.
It's amazing. It's that the association brings in celebrities essentially. I mean, we're only 6.5 years old, and it's just such a role model for other states that this is our association that we have in Utah, and it's because of how dedicated you and our other growers are at creating the best possible welcoming experience with community, like you said.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I don't see any more questions in the Q&A, but for those of you that have any, please feel free to add those in, and Mollie can keep an eye on it and answer those directly through the Q&A. She can answer that by